Battle Royale games have many kinds of players, but some of which you come across a lot, with certain characteristics and tendencies that they share. Some good, like when you get randomly matched up with some godlike kid who carries you to victory, and some bad, where you have to wonder if they're even a fully conscious human being. Well, Warzone is of course no different in that regard, and so today, I'm going to list off 10 types of Warzone players. Your job is to let me know which one you are, which ones your friends are, and of course, tell me which types of players I missed out in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, the current goal for the channel is to hit 50k subscribers. Currently it's around 47k at the time I'm making this video, so if you fancy joining us by hitting that subscribe button, that would be awesome. Our opening kind of player is the AFK dropper. The type of player who gets into a lobby, presses all of the relevant buttons or clicks the necessary options, and then decides to walk off and do something else. I honestly never ever understand this, and I don't think I've personally ever done it. Now I know sometimes real life gets in the way. Maybe your dog needs to go out, your boss calls, you had a very sudden need to visit the bathroom, whatever. But I'd bet my house that relevant reasons only make up a small percentage of the AFK droppers. Like there's just too many of them. And some people are absolutely egregious repeat offenders. Maybe you have a mate who is. Someone who, for some reason, just can't be trusted to remain focused upon the game at hand for more than like 3 continuous minutes. I've got a mate like that. Shout out to Mike, who down the years has taken phone calls while playing for 30 minutes without announcing it, taking copious amounts of breaks to get what he calls victory beers, even when there's been literally no victory, and also for all those times he simply put the controller down for no reason or blatantly ignored my callouts. The AFK dropper is a special breed of player, and thank God I'm not one of them. Next up, we have the corner camper. Yep, they still exist, even way after the release of Warzone, and trust me, they'll exist far beyond Warzone being in any way relevant. An absolute staple of any Battle Royale, and indeed any first-person shooter. Even something like Destiny, where you have a radar that shows enemy positions, while crouching allows you to temporarily peer off the radar, and so of course you'll get people attempting that ancient combat art of sitting still in that right-angled area of a room. Now, don't get it twisted, I don't care if you do this, I'm so far from caring how other people play a video game. You do you, boo. It's your money, it's your time, it's your life. But it's undeniable that the corner camper is one of the most consistently recognizable types of player in shooters. And they're in Warzone even though the gas makes you move, because of course they can just find another corner. So the Warzone camper, from as far as I can tell, has 3 main goals. Number 1, to stay alive. Number 2, to memorize in detail the contents of the room they're in, and I mean in minute detail. And number 3, to get at least 1 kill per game, preferably the final kill of the entire round, picking up the corner camper special of the single kill Battle Royale victory. Now I don't have that to show you because my time is too precious to simulate sitting in a corner for an entire game, but I'm sure you can use your imagination because you've probably seen people do it many times before. Next up we have the growl user, and how could I possibly not have this on my list when it appears to me that most of the people playing the game, and thus most of you watching, are this exact kind of player. At least at the time I'm making this video. Maybe in the future it'll have been knocked down a few pegs and it won't be the hot meta thing, but currently it's a growl epidemic. But you may ask, well, why aren't you displaying the growl for this section then? Well, I want you to feel my pain here. I don't have it. Yup, I only recently came back to playing this game after months away, and I've had real life stuff to handle of late, so I simply haven't got around to grabbing it. And oh my days, does it feel lame trying to learn to play the game again without the crutch weapon that almost everyone seems to be using. It's just an absolute laser beam. The recent nerf seems to have had next to no effect, and gameplay of the growl looks as though everyone is using some kind of no recoil cheat. It's insane. So yep, the growl user absolutely had to be on this list, and now most of you have zero excuse for not commenting which kind of player you are because this is on the list. But I guess also, to mix it up, maybe comment if you aren't a growl user, and leave me some tips for some secretly great loadouts to build and help me improve at the game because I suck right now. Like really bad. Next up we have literal RAMBO. I guess this player is the total opposite of the corner camper. They play as if they're absolutely totally constantly hopped up on Gamma Labs, and the only way they know to play is to keep pushing, and of course, keep pushing. They have zero regard for your life, their life, anyone's life it would seem, more than ready for 2 minutes of action and then heading to the pre-game lobby to repeat it over and over again if necessary. Their win rate might be super low if they suck like me right now, or perhaps super high if they're extremely good. It doesn't matter either way, literal RAMBO is just here for some excitement, for that dopamine hit. And if you're in a squad with them, don't even bother trying to keep up. Just live your life and let them get on with theirs. It's only going to be constant frustration if you try to actually play with them in some kind of coordinated manner. You barely exist within their reality, mate. If you stop for maybe 10 seconds to look for loot, you're wasting their time. They're off to grab a loadout drop or something and start hunting the enemy. And the Gulag gives them ample opportunity to try this far more frequently than they'd otherwise be able to. And speaking of the Gulag, that neatly segues us onto our next kind of player, the Gulag Warrior. They know the Gulag better than you know your best mate, because they spend a really solid chunk of their time in it. Some Gulag Warriors are good at winning those 1v1s, but most are bad, because realistically, if they were any good, they wouldn't be in the Gulag so frequently, and thus they wouldn't be Gulag Warriors. Simple, right? Now don't get it twisted again, I'm not calling anyone out here. If you feel personally attacked, then that's on you, not me. You must be finding yourself in the Gulag all too often, but I'm one of you. I've been very clear so far in this video about my current lack of ability. I'm on the game again way after I last played it, when it basically first dropped, so I embody the Gulag Warrior currently. Now hold your heads up high, my fellow 1v1 battlers. We may suck, but I don't really have an end to that statement, so I guess we just suck. Now next up we have the Gulag Warrior. Yep, similar to the previous entry, but with a twist. This type of player actually falls into two categories. Now as you can see, I've taken the Gulag footage and with clearly super advanced editing, made it appear to be a lagtastic experience. And that's because the first category of Gulag Warrior is the player that actually lags absolutely horrendously while they're in there, and now it's up for debate whether this hurts them or their opponent more. On the one hand, we almost all know that playing with extreme lag is horrendous, but on the flip side, we all absolutely know that playing against laggy players can be truly mind-blowing. 1 second they're somewhere, the next they're right beside you blowing your brains out. But then the second category of Gulag Warrior is the player that perhaps doesn't lag in the Gulag, and maybe doesn't always play against laggy players in the Gulag, but will absolutely blame lag for losing in there 100% of the time. It's literally never ever their fault. Now to be fair, the Gulag can be an inconsistent experience where frequently you may feel like it actually is super laggy. I get that. But some of you, well, some of you just be lying. Okay, next up we have Timmy No Thumbs. And like at this point, I'm just kind of personally attacking myself. But Timmy No Thumbs plays as if, well, you probably guessed it, or I guess on PC it would be more like Timmy No Fingers, but like you get the point. No disrespect to my disabled gamers though, of course. Those of you who find a way to play despite any physical disadvantage, well done to you, awesome work. But regardless, we've all seen Timmy No Thumbs. Can't hit the broadside of a barn from 5 paces away. More likely to shoot the sun than the enemy. More likely to win the lottery than a 1v1. More chance of some of your dads coming back home than Timmy No Thumbs coming out with a victory. You get my point. Timmy No Thumbs is always a wonderful sight. You can usually tell pretty early on that you're playing with one, and my absolute favourite thing is the utter panic mode they end up in when there's pressure, spraying everything in sight, and you get to imagine them wildly hitting every button or key they have before them, just hoping one of them is an instant win outcome. Spoiler alert, it never is. Alright, next up we have the controller user. Yup, time for some controversy. Mouse and keyboard users absolutely love to call out and berate controller users. It's the age-old argument of which is better, which is more fair, which is OP. The controller user has added aim assist and a constant need to defend themselves from the PC master race. It's a sad time to be a gamer. Are there some advantages to playing with a controller? Well, yes, for sure. Do I care either way? No. The main problem for me is that when Warzone dropped, Xbox players had no way to turn off crossplay, whereas PlayStation did, which is madness, mate. I don't know if that's still the case now, as well I just haven't checked, but that's kind of insane. Anyway, I'm getting off the point. The controller user is a very commonly found kind of Warzone player, and I'd be super interested to hear in the comments below whether you're a controller user or mouse and keyboard user, and what you think about both of the inputs. Let me know. And this brings us to our next type of player, and quite predictably, it's the mouse and keyboard user. Wey, how original, get good. Now I don't play on mouse and keyboard, so just kind of pretend this footage is mouse and keyboard, okay? Now you can just take what I said for the controller user and flip a load of it the other way. And so, are there some advantages of using mouse and keyboard? Absolutely, for sure. Do I care that much now? No. The main issue again is simply giving players the tools to allow crossplay or not, whether it be platform crossplay or input crossplay, and then job done. And so that brings us to the rooftop sniper. Alright, for this one, I recorded for literally 3 hours just for this one section and had the least luck I've ever had in my life. Every time I got a sniper rifle, I got shot instantly, or got shot going to the roof, or just, you know, whatever. So just pretend I got footage for it, okay? I'm just gonna put something else here. This doesn't take much explaining, mate. They get a sniper, they scale a building, they pitch a tent, happy days. It's kind of like when most people go fishing. Are they going to catch anything? The vast majority of the time, no. Are they going to keep doing it anyway? Without doubt. It's their calling in life, apparently. They've got that fresh digital air and a scope. What more could they want? And so with that, we have 10 types of Warzone players. So which are you? Which are your friends? And what types of players did I miss out? If I get enough good suggestions, maybe you'll get a follow-up list from me in the not too distant future, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, want more, and or would like to join our journey towards 50k subs in this awesome community, and all the links to my social media, including Patreon, can be found in the description and my pinned comment, where if you do support me on Patreon, you'll join the board of awesome we're seeing right here with all the people that already do so. They're all absolute heroes and loved more deeply and of course often. So yep, all the links to that in my description and pinned comments, and with that all said, I'm GetGoodGuy and I'll see you next time. Laters. Hence my current looking around at other games to cover until we finally get a new Battlefield game. Things aren't healthy for the franchise at this current point in time,